Welcome to episode 47 of Around the Board, recorded on August 25th, 2024. This is a show where four board game enthusiasts discuss board games and board game topics. On today's show, we bring you a hot or not segment about the game Skyrise, after which we skip to a different topic, to back or not to back? That is the question. Then we let John have his way with another Believe It or Not. And lastly, we'll finish off the show by watching Chris perform one of his two talents. Huh, I didn't know he had two. Looking left and right at the same time. Okay, looking forward to that segment. Here are your hosts, Daniel Marvel Mania Connors, Chris DCC Fleek Thomason, John Games Get Played Teisman, and yours truly, Andy, I always make an entrance, Barnett. Now join us, would you, around the board.
What's going on, guys?
Going on.
Hey, man, this show was recorded a long time ago. Isn't it wild how much things have changed since the time we recorded this show and to time it's now being played? That's pretty
Time
wild.
travel.
I know. The world is a different place than it was 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
That's right. But
John,
let's just be
got
honest.
that time frame.
I know.
We could be all hanging out in our bunkers, our radioactive bunkers right now in real time.
We probably are.
Because,
I mean, it seems to check out.
the end
I
of the
mean, I
world.
see that on a daily basis in my office at work. So, like, it's just in my basement. So,
In your mom's basement, right?
correct.
That's
My
what it
mom's
is.
basement surrounded by my toys, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, I love that commenter. They made my day. I laughed myself to sleep. That was great.
Well, let's be honest though, guys. Like we're recording this weeks before it releases, but no one's gonna watch this until like 2027, anyways. When we're finally big.
Well, because they've got to catch up with all the various episodes, right? You can't just
Yeah.
jump into the newest one.
No, and then they'll say, "Wow, I'm glad I missed those early episodes."
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Always a good idea.
Yes.
Any big announcements going on, Daniel?
Well, we announced it on the last episode, but it's worth announcing on this one too. I was a guest star on One Board Family, Will It Game. It was a really cool podcast. It's hosted by Rick and Ryan, and what they do is they come up with a unique game that they pitch to a guest judge, which in this case was me, and of course, they kind of come up with this on the fly. I think they do put a little. I think they put a lot of work into it, to be honest, because their games were pretty entertaining, and I get to pick the theme or the mechanic. So the theme I picked was Marvel.
Rapture,
Yeah,
Rapture.
you guessed it.
Rapture.
The Rapture. Oh, that would have been a good one.
Rapture.
That's right. But no, and they actually pitched two games that were probably better than most Marvel games out there right now. So these guys were really good. It was a really entertaining episode, and it's a really entertaining show. So make sure you guys check them out. They're One Board Family, Will It Game.
Yeah, I think one of the games they came up with was about making a Marvel movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was.
been a while.
They both sounded really good.
Yeah, one was a roll and write, so I don't think I picked that one because I was a fan of the
There we
roll and
go.
write. But the other one
Yeah.
was like an auction drafting game, and I was like, well, that's just gonna be the one that wins.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Oh wait, spoilers. I mean, I don't know which one won.
don't worry.
find out.
Don't worry. They
Again,
can
no
go
one
back
watches
and
our
tell
show. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
you.
that's
It's
fair.
perfectly fine. All right, well, guys, we got a lot to get into here, so let's get the whole shebang started here, shall we?
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Around the Board is all about debating different topics within tabletop gaming in 4 unique segments, each hosted by one of us. A behind-the-scenes judge will award points. At the end of the show, the coolest contestant with the most victory points will be awarded 2 shame-free table talk minutes. Now, it is time to play the game.
Round 1. Fight!
So first up, we've got our good old Hot or Not segment.
Real hot. So hot right now.
You know,
That's
hot or
hot.
not, but one could say that is this actually a great game debate? Could be either.
Could be. That's true. That's true. It could be a great game debate because we're going to be talking about Skyrise. And Skyrise just came out here a few months ago, and it is actually a reskin of the game Metropolis. And that is spelled with a Y instead of an I. Metropolis. And I was so excited when I came across this game, and I'm going to just jump right in and tell you what I think of it, and then we'll go
Oh,
around the
wait, we
board.
should-
How about how about somebody tells us how the
description.
game's played first?
Oh, fine. Let's go to a tutorial on what the game is about.
This is Skyrise. In Skyrise, you're going to be erecting all these different size buildings in your color. We've got me choosing the blue color here. You're going to have many different ones of all these 3 heights. I just wanted to show you what heights they came in. And you're going to be bidding on all these different territories on the board. Each territory also comes with a bonus chip. So what you're going to do to start the bidding, you would take one of your buildings, any one that you want. You have to either start in the middle or next to a building that's already been erected on the board. So to start with, you'd have to start in one of these 4 areas. So I start with the 1. It would go to the next person to bid. They don't bid on that location. They can bid on a location around it. So they might bid 41 over here because that's connected by a bridge. And then as you can see, the buildings get taller and taller in the different increments of how high they can go number-wise. So then let's say the next person bids right there with their 101. Everyone else passes. We get our buildings back. This person will flip this one over and they get the bonus chip. When you get the bonus chip, you get to put that on your board. Everybody's got a board like this with their own person on it. And you put the bonus chip in that row. And that's going to multiply how much every building in that colored area is worth at the end of the game. He actually built in a green area, which is only worth 2. If he'd built in a white area, it'd be worth 3 points for that spot. You're going to go like this until everybody is done, until one person is done placing all their buildings that don't have a dot. 5 of the buildings have a dot at the bottom. Once one person runs out of their buildings with no dot, the end of the first era is over and we score the different goals. You always score area majorities, which go by heights of building for each of the 5 areas. And then there will also be 2 random ones. This time it's for chains of buildings, chains of 3 or more, and buildings built on a windmill space. So you will do that, and then you'll get your 5 buildings in to add to your building supply, and you start again. And the second era goes until everybody's done building all their buildings. Very simple rules wise. Everybody also has a secret ambition to build 4 buildings in each of the 4 colors. So this person was supposed to build in white. So if you get 4 of them built in the white areas, you'll get 10 points at the end of the game, which is a big deal. The other thing that's on the board, you can see there's the different colors that I explained, but there's also different letters that go to these patron tiles up here. So say if you won a spot that has an A, you put that A on your board, and then you get to look at the A and see how much the A is worth. The A is worth 3. They can be anywhere from 3 to 8 points. So that's the worst one. Now you know not to go for the A's anymore. That's pretty much it at the end of the second era. Whoever has the most points wins Skyrise.
All right. Well, thanks for that teach, John. That is very handy dandy indeed. So yeah, what do I think about this game? Well, I'm really excited about it. I've gotten to play it twice now, and I have really enjoyed it. In fact, I had an old list on my iPhone. Get this, guys. iPhones have now been around for 16 years.
No.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
since 2008. So I had old notes in the notepad going back to all the way around that time, 2009, 2010, where I had written down some games I wanted to check out.
There's an app for that.
And one of them was Metropolis, which for a long time was out of print and hard to find. And so every couple of years I would look for it and see if I could find it. And that's when I stumbled upon the fact that they were kickstarting Skyrise as a retheme. And so I was super excited. I did not actually back it, believe it or not, because at the time I had too many things out there, and we'll get to that topic here in just a bit about how much you should back and not back with Kickstarter. But I was able to pick up the base game, and I am blown away by the artwork, the components, and the gameplay. They've improved upon Metropolis, which I did play back in the day, and they've added a few more things with different goals, and the artwork is just fantastic. And I'm not even talking about the Kickstarter version. I'm talking about just the base version, which I believe is just a $40 game. So I highly recommend checking out Skyrise. It is a bidding game, and it's kind of got a little bit of an abstract feel to it, which that just kind of scratches that itch for me sometimes. It feels like almost like you're playing chess as you're trying to keep people from getting a building for free or anything like that by where you're placing on the map, and you've got your own objectives. People have their own objectives. Then you've got public objectives, and you've got area control. It's a blast. So I recommend checking out Skyrise. It gets a big 2 thumbs up from me. What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, so this is a game. I'll just lead with what I think of it, and I think it's a wonderful game. it was interesting because we played it again just yesterday, me and John did. And I will say in the first like 15 minutes, I was like, man, maybe this game wasn't as good as I remembered it. But very quickly, it just really started to sing. The unique area control mixed with that auction is really fun, because what you're doing, as the rules as we showed you in the rules overview, is you're expanding. You're not getting the tile that you're on. You're kind of setting up for the next person to go somewhere else and then you to go somewhere else. So you're very rarely going to get that one location that you picked. So the auction is really interesting, in which you're trying to say, I want to pay my highest building, but I want to pay for it for this location over here. And how am I going to get there? And it's a really fun way to think of the game. So the other thing I really liked about it was that first round. There's a lot of tension there about when someone is actually going to lose all their buildings, because you want to make sure you have your goals in place so that you're ready to score them. But there's a time where you're like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do this to get those objectives well. So you hold back and you go, you know what, I'm just going to let somebody blow through their buildings and I'm going to hold back more for the second round. I really liked that tension. Now, there are some bad things about it, and I will say the one thing that I was really frustrated by, it was John's sister-in-law who really highlighted this, is they kept placing where somebody could take a location and then they would for sure win the next one because there was no adjacency open. So I was joking around with our friend Jacob, because he was next to Anne, and I was like, hey, do you want to switch spaces? Because she just kept setting up for good move after good move. So there is a little bit of that aspect. But I think, did I end up winning that game? I forgot to look. If I didn't win, I came very close. So
yeah,
obviously,
I think you very barely sneaked it out at the end.
Yeah. So even though there were people setting up for really solid moves, there was still a lot of flexibility in there to still do what you wanted to do and overcome those little that shortcoming that the game has, which is someone not playing optimally.
I don't think that's a shortcoming. I think that, I hear what you're saying. If somebody's not playing optimally, and there are games like that, I've encountered that in Downforce, right? If somebody just doesn't get what they're doing, they can just kind of throw the whole game off. And I guess that can happen, but you can, depending on your group, you can talk around the table and kind of encourage people and say, hey, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah. And normally I would, like, if it was us four, I totally would have done that. I would have been like, John, do not place there because Andy's going to get this location. But I was in a different setting, so I was like, well, I don't want to be that guy that's like, don't let him win. But no, if it was us four, I totally would have been like, dude, that's stupid. Don't place there.
And I'm no good at it because I will say that no matter where someone's placing their first one, are you sure you want to put that there? Is that, just kind of put doubt in their mind? Are you sure that's where you want to go? You took your finger off of it. It's like,
that's psychological warfare, and I approve.
So I couldn't really offer legit advice at that point.
John, what'd you think of Skyrise?
Well, Skyrise surprised me. I'll tell you that. I put it in the category of games like Grand Austria Hotel, where I really like these games and I am terrible at them. And I'm not really sure why with Grand Austria Hotel. It's a little more obvious with Skyrise. I don't always see the Matrix going on in Skyrise, but it's one. I got talked into playing it by our friend Ryan Evans. And this is another rarity for me with the game, because he had the super expanded Kickstart edition with all the cool stuff and the neat buildings. Normally, if that's my first play of a game, I will not settle for anything less than the top. You know what I'm saying? But I got my own copy of the regular base Skyrise, which is still really good. And I've had no qualms about playing it. So maybe I'm getting over that personal hurdle. That's something I'll leave for my therapist. But Skyrise itself, I had never heard of this Metropolis game, so I was going into it completely blind. And I tell you what, it's all these things. It's thinky, it's puzzly, it's strategic, and it's also tactical, because you're also parrying to other people's moves. So it's like there's a lot of everything in there. And the only thing it's not is immersive theme wise. So that's usually my big thing. Is I want a big thematic game. Yeah, it's a city building game, and it is steampunk. But that's just so much fluff. It has nothing to do with the actual playing of the game. The game is more of, like Andy was saying, a chess-like, strategic, and tactical game, which turns out to be really fun. Plus, it's quick. It's not something that overstays its welcome, which is really important with me, especially with a game like this that's not immersive. That's basically just the thinky stuff that you're doing, and then boom, you're done. And the 2 eras go by really quick, it seems like to me. It always seems like somebody's supposed to run out of their buildings right when you're in the middle of your getting your gadget going. But yeah, it's definitely hot to me. I own it now, and yeah, it's going to get played a lot. So yes, hot or not, it's hot.
John, I'm glad you brought up the components for the base versus the Kickstarter, because I did want to mention the Kickstarter. I'm usually all about really cool Kickstarters, but the Kickstarter version of this, guys, is not necessary. It's just an elevated board that's made of that, like, what is that called? Like game trays material. It's fine. Honestly, I really enjoyed just the cardboard and the way that looked. And then the buildings themselves, sure, they were unique in the Kickstarter. They're fine. The basic edition is just wooden cylinders, but they still have a little bit of design on it. They look just as good. Wooden meeples are just as good as plastic, and don't kick yourself if you're not getting the Kickstarter edition. This game,
I didn't get the Kickstarter edition, but that's where I have to disagree. The buildings are a huge upgrade, and they look amazing on the board. But I just try to put it out of my mind that I've ever seen them, and then I'm happy with.
I will
one
say,
I have.
it's a credit to who did the design for the game, not the gameplay. The gameplay is great, of course, but whoever did the graphic design, it's a credit to them that even the lower quality components look amazing still. Even the card stock, everything, just the way it pops, I'm really impressed with. In fact, I would encourage. This is kind of bad, but I don't think you need to get the Kickstarter. I don't think there's any need for that one. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not trying to undersell the guys, but you know what? It's a great game. Just the base is awesome. Chris, what do you got to say?
All right, Andy. Well, I'm glad you jumped in with that moment there at the end, because what John said just a moment ago about ruined everything I was going to say. And yes, everyone, apparently it's upside. It's the opposite day. It's the bizarro world, because and here's the reason. Okay. You should only get the Kickstarter version of this game. Like, you should only get the Kickstarter version.
What?
Wow.
And listen, here's the reason. It's because of the world we live in today and the cost of these games, right? Like, you're gonna pay, like, I remember back in the day, old man, right, where a simple like filler game was like $20 and a big game was like 40 or 50, right? But now we're in the age where the big game, the filler game, sometimes like $40, and then the big game is 60 plus, right? I believe, and again, this is only somewhat secondhand because it's talking from Ryan, the one who actually got the Kickstarter, but he paid like 70 for his now the board, like Daniel talked about, it being raised up. It doesn't really move the needle much, but it is kind of cool because it's a decent amount of like graphic design and molding of the edges and stuff, and so it looks pretty cool. It does feel like a floating city, so that's pretty neat. But the miniatures of the different buildings, these things are an engineering, like, just like, I'm trying to think of a good word for it. They're just incredible because every single mold is different. There's not like not like the third tallest building for every color is the same shape. No, it's all different. Every building is a different mold from the next. And they all somehow, some way, no matter what shape they are, how they are, they stand up upside down perfectly. Like, you don't have to worry about them falling over and getting knocked over, which like normal standees sometimes do. These things are like super rectangle buildings, like skyscrapers, and they never fall over. It's an engineering feat. It's incredible. And again, so all that say, the base game with the wood meeples, which is normally what I go for, right, that are less detailed, are like 40, but the super deluxe is only like $70, which is like the normal price of a game. Like, I've never had a problem with people buying the Kickstarter cool one at a normal price. I have a problem with people buying the $500 all-in pledge. That's what I have a problem with. So
where is Chris, and what have you done with him? Because here's the deal: the buildings in the base
I understand
game.
this is Bizarro World.
It is, because the buildings in the base game are wood. They're beautiful wood buildings.
And again, and maybe it's one of those things.
You said the difference between 70 and 40 is not much. That's almost twice as much.
It is. I don't disagree. Correct. Numbers-wise, you're right. But again, the normal price of games these days, 70 is not uncommon, right?
Well,
There's
it wouldn't be the normal.
That are like 90 or 100. So the fact it's only 70 for the deluxe one, it's fantastic.
It wouldn't be the normal price if you didn't give in. You're the problem. You're the problem. Well, 70 is the new normal. That's why I didn't buy Forges of Ravenshire.
Yeah.
I love the game. It was a great game, but I wasn't going to pay $70 for it.
How much do you pay for the Feast of Crap?
Feast of Ode? Feast for Ode?
Yeah.
Exactly. How much you pay for that one?
I actually don't own it, but
okay.
My one does go MSRP for like $100, maybe $80.
That one they did it. That's a great game. That's just a great game.
Andy's like, whatever, I don't care. You're right, but it's a good.
Take my money. Go ahead. Take my money. Where's that sound effect? I can't find it. Oh well.
Shut up and take my money.
There we go. What do you think about Skyrise? We all seem to like it, although we have our quibbles or squabbles over certain things. Would like to know what you think. Is it worth the hype? Did you like Metropolis back in the day? Is it a good reskin? Did they change it enough for you? Tell us in the comments below. And as always, be sure and like and subscribe. And thank you for watching our fine, humble little program.
Round 2. Fight!
All right, so our first segment was about this new game that just fulfilled from Kickstarter, Skyrise. Later on, we're going to be talking about even more Kickstarter games. So we're going to take a moment here, and we're actually going to discuss why we back things on crowdfunding. I guess we should be saying crowdfunding because now there's so many different things. But I'm going to say Kickstarter because it's hard for me to change my language. Once I get something down, I just stick with it, guys.
So Kickstarter is like Kleenex to you.
Or Coke.
It is, exactly.
Or
what?
Coke.
Oh, I thought you said milk. I was like, is there off-brand milk? But yeah, so we're going to just go around. We're going to talk about why we back something, what's worth backing and what's not worth backing. So as the Kickstarter expert in this group, I'm going to start because I have kickstarted a lot more board games than these guys, probably all of them combined if I had to guess. And I would say there are two major reasons for backing a Kickstarter project. One is to support that designer. There are two people recently that fall into this category. Their games are both great and they looked good, but they were also small companies who were trying to really do something unique, and that is New Kingdom Gardeners and Deliverance. Both of these are Christian themed games who are really actually have fulfilling hobby game mechanisms in there and are worth having in anybody's collection. And that was definitely worth backing on Kickstarter despite how it looks or whatever, which in this case they both looked great, and Deliverance is a miniatures game and it was just marvelous. But if it's not that and you're just like, you know what, I'm just using this as a pre-order, this is the real reason we back things on Kickstarter, or I do, is because it catches my eye. Like, I want that game to be so beautiful that I have to stop and go, I have to look at this. If it's on Kickstarter and your game isn't a niche game or just beyond beautiful, then why in the world is it on Kickstarter? And the example I have for this is a game I just recently backed called Etherstone. Beautiful art. Cards are just absolutely marvelous. The other reason you would do this is how much is the all-in? And I will say one reason I would not back a game is because they are not forthcoming what their all-in is. CMON does it, and also Sentinels in the Multiverse, they both had done that before, where they were like, here's our product, and then every week they add more and more and more, and then all of a sudden you were like, I was in for $200, but now you're up to $500. I'm out. I can't handle this. Stop doing the creep up. And I know my time is up, but I got one more I have to say, and that is, will all the stretch goals fit in one box? Radlands, it was a wonderful two-player game with two mats, neoprene mats, and they all fit in a box like this big. That's a no-brainer. Have to back that. So, thank you for letting me go past my time. I appreciate it. And
well, I didn't let you, but I don't have control, so.
Yeah, that's right, because I have the mute ability, baby. We haven't passed that on to Randy yet.
By the way, it's called Come On now. Come On.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I always get that wrong. All right, John. Why do you back things on Kickstarter? Or what's Kickstarter for you?
Well, it's crowdfunding, actually.
I've heard it both ways.
You kind of hit the one that one of the big things I was wanting to talk about was, and I haven't done many like this, like you were talking about. There's like you're saying, there's two different reasons you would crowdfund. One is because that's the only way you're going to get it. Unless you support this project, it's not going to happen. And the other is just, a glorified pre-order. I've done, to be honest, the only ones I've been satisfied with are the glorified pre-orders. Some of the ones you mentioned, though, I did not back. Maybe I would have been happy with them. I probably would have been, because some of them I'm familiar with. But the idea of it's such a leap of faith to just throw something out there because, oh, this looks good online. The weight looks good. The components look good. I can't touch any of the components. I don't know what the quality is going to be like. So, here, take my money and I hope I get a game. That is I shy away from that. I have two outstanding, they are Kickstarters right now, and those are both pretty much just pre-orders. Although one of them's Daniel already has the game. But, but we won't go into that. But you had to kind of set yourself up for some side of disappointment, no matter what you fund though. So there's that too. You can't just go into it thinking it's all going to be roses and this is gonna. Boy, they said this is gonna be, coming out in September. It's going to be in my hands in September. No, it's probably not going to be in your hands in September. If you're lucky, it's November. So really, I'm not a good one to talk you into backing anything here, but just that's usually what I do. I'm looking for to back or not to back. For me, it's usually that's the really cool pre-orders where it's got stuff that I'm not going to be able to get at retail. So
is that what happened here? That Daniel got his at Gen Con before you got yours?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it though.
These are sore subjects. John, what's your Kickstarter out right now that you still have out?
Well, one of them is the Canvas Big Box.
Okay.
It's probably pretty much a pre-order that you'll be able to get at your local game store, but it does come with like extra art cards and stuff like that you would, and it's going to make the game. I'm usually not one. Okay, I'm going to take a side thing. I never understand people with storage problems, like, oh, well, I hate taking these 3 boxes to go play this game. Big deal. It looks good in the 3 boxes, looks good on your shelf. What are you going to do with 3 empty boxes if you get rid of it? So I've never had a problem with that. But with Canvas, there's so much different stuff, and fitting it into the 3 boxes again is almost impossible. And so it makes sense to get a big box for that. So I feel justified with this one.
And John,
thank you for sharing,
you
John.
went way over your time. I think you should get a point taken away.
I probably should get a point.
Go ahead.
All right, Chris. Why do you back things on Kickstarter? Everybody wants to know this.
Yes.
You are the enigma.
All right, to you, Andy.
That's not true.
I was going to say,
Chris,
have you ever backed anything, Chris?
No, 100%. Okay, so here's the truth, people. I think I've made it very clear. I'm a frugal person. I am not a person that just throws money at my hobbies randomly.
Like an unnecessary upgrade for Skyrise.
I'm very calculated with my money. So, I was so calculated I didn't back Skyrise. I played somebody else's. That's free. Anyways, man, I have problems with fixing my time normally, but I could talk about 30 minutes about how I feel about Kickstarter. So, I'll be as quick as I can. I love the idea of crowdsourcing. I love the idea of what it was for when it started. It started for like music artists that wanted to record an album, and no one really knew who they were, and so they would go on there and be like, "Hey, if I can get like $400, we can record an album at a studio, and we'll send you a copy." And people are like, "Yeah, cool. I heard a little blip that you recorded and put up on the site. I'd love to see what a full album is. Here's some money, right?" Up and coming artists in board games, new designers, cool. I love the idea of your new game. That's cool. No one's doing something like that. I'm throwing some money at you so you can create your goal, your dream of creating a game. All for it. What I'm not for is the big board game using your money for R&D opposed to their own money like you're supposed to do. So that, like, as a principle thing, I hate it. And then also because, again, I care about my money. I don't back a Kickstarter, or I didn't for a long time, unless it was a sweet deal. So, like, I backed a couple of miniature things back in the day from Blacklist Miniatures, I think is what it's called. If you know him and you've been part of it, brother, I'm here for you. We've been through a journey, because both of them a massive scam, just a massive scam. And it was like $85 for like 150 miniatures, and you're like, well, you should have known better. Well, that's just a good deal. So I did it because it's a good deal. I'm not going to do what's normal MSRP. Here, take my MSRP money and I'll wait 3 years to get it. No, that's stupid. I ain't going to do that. So I've been burned by a few different ones. Early in crowdfunding, I backed a miniatures game that wasn't Warhammer. My own mistake, because no one plays anything but Warhammer and miniatures, so that's my fault. I also backed a Magic the Gathering clone game that was only online. This is before Magic the Gathering Arena. It was super cool. I loved the idea. It had a bunch of money. The guy built it. He released the first set, and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't have any money anymore. I'm sorry." And the game was just over. And so over and over. And so, like, I did it when people needed them, when they were trying to fulfill their dream, and it always failed. Right.
See,
and so I don't have any interest in doing the pre-order like you guys. I'll just wait till it's on the shelf and buy it at retail. Or better yet, I love you all that love this Kickstarter. I think it's great. Y'all are terrible with your money. You spend $500, and then 6 months later, I can buy it from you for $300, and I love it. So
it sounds like you're real big. It sounds like your big problem, Chris.
I appreciate it.
Chris, it seems like your biggest problem is not a lack of. It's not a problem with Kickstarter. It's a lack of vetting on your part.
No, it's not. I mean,
Yes, it is, because you're like,
early
oh, well,
on,
this
I'm not sure,
some
yeah,
random
early on,
guy. You got to make sure they're a legitimate person before you send them your money.
But I hear you. But again, it gets the principle. The reason for crowdfunding, in my opinion, is for people that are needing the money to fulfill their dream, not to put out the newest game by CMON.
Come on, man.
I suppose, but that's also an oxymoron of what you said, because you said you don't want it to be R&D, and it sounds like you're handing people money because they want to R&D their dream, unless you're saying the dream should be already fully done.
Well, sure, but even the big board game companies that you give crowdfunding to, they're not. The game's not ready. It's not like at the end of this Kickstarter, I tell the production company go, and you will have it in 9 months from then, because I've done all the details, all the work to know about shipping, production, everything's in a row. All the work's been done. I just have to hit go when this is over. But that's not how it is, and it makes me
except for Queen Game. Queen Games does that because they are truly a pre-order system.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. Like, it's so it's very frustrating to me, because it's, again, a principle alone, it's not what it was meant to be anymore, and that's
Sure.
just frustrating.
Yeah, but it's not, but it can be still. But unfortunately, the big companies have taken advantage of us wanting to part with our money. But a lot of them still give you a bonus or at least a discount of some sort, like CMON.
Come on, man.
They're a really good bargain. You're going to get so many stretch goals that it's like, yeah, that was worth it.
Yeah, so those are bananas what they give you comparatively to like what you pay. It's true. Like you can pay $120 for the MSRP box when it comes out, 3 years from now, or you can back it now and you'll get that plus 7 other boxes for the same price. So like I get it with CMON. It's just kind of ridiculous. But
Come on.
Come on, Andy. What's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, for those of we were talking about crowdfunding, we are starting a GoFundMe to come up with some money for Chris's blood pressure medicine, because clearly he's going to need some more of it after that. No,
well done, Andy. Well done.
You guys have covered a lot of different points here, and so I want to just want to hit up on a couple that you've clearly missed. And the biggest reason to back anything on crowdfunding is because of the quality. Hear me out. The quality of the voiceover trailer that promotes it. And the problem is too many people aren't hiring me to do their Kickstarter trailers. If they would, why, my goodness, we'd be back in everything, wouldn't we, gentlemen? So this is a simple opportunity for me to shill my services out there and plug that. But no, in all honesty, what it's come down to for me is I've been burned too. I've been burned. I kind of got burned by the He-Man game. That's my fault, because I am a sucker for the theme, and I should have known better that it wasn't my type of game. So it's really my fault. It's actually a great game if you're into that kind of game. But what has worked for me, and what will continue to be my modus operandi for Kickstarters, is going to be getting deluxe versions of games I love. And so the one I mentioned on the previous show, the one I'm most excited about that's coming up is the Puerto Rico Deluxe Edition that's coming up. I love the Castles of Burgundy one that I got this last year. And the other thing is sometimes it is bringing back games that are out of print and really hard to find, like Palaces of Carrera is a good example. That was a game that was made primarily in Germany and really hard to come by, but somebody finally put it on Kickstarter, and it's just a fantastic game. So that's my thoughts on it. I don't get into the whole speculative thing. I try not to just waste my money anymore, and it's too easy to do so. In fact, I don't even browse. I don't go to those websites. that sounded different than it should be. But yeah, don't worry. I've got a blacklist. I've got Kickstarter's blacklisted for me. I can't see it. So.
Actually, it is at work, which is funny because Kicks now that what's it called now? Crowdfunding? No, what's the other one?
GoFundMe?
No, what's the other?
Indiegogo?
No, what's the other big one that's going on right now?
GameFound?
Yes,
GameFound. Thank you. Now that GameFound is taking a lot of the board game from Kickstarter, I can get on Kickstarter at work. I cannot get on GameFound. So my Kickstarter backing has went down significantly because there's not as many good games on Kickstarter. Also, I know what I was going to comment on John's, and that was when you were going to get the game. Guys, here's just... whatever they say, this is when you're going to get the game, you are not going to get the game. If you're like, oh, this should have shipped 3 months ago, what's going on? you're the idiot for thinking it was going to come in on time. It does not come in on time. It doesn't matter what they say. It's like saying that.
So wait a minute. You're suggesting you're suggesting the people who believe the people who made the promise are the idiots, not the people who make the promises and don't keep them.
Yes, exactly. Because like if you look at a board game and it says 45 to 60 minutes and you believe that, you also believe that that same company is going to get you that game in 3 months.
By that logic,
it isn't.
By that logic, politicians are not idiots. The voters are the idiots.
Come on, man.
Correct.
Exactly.
And they are because they care about politics and I don't. But
all right.
And especially that man in blue really does. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, but what you're saying is you support them openly lying to you about a delivery date because they know if they're truthful, people won't back as much. Like if they tell you it's supposed to come out at Christmas, guys, it's going to be like Gen Con next year.
Yeah.
Then they know people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to give you money for a year and a half from now. Go away.
That's where we're running a little long on the segment.
Openly lying to us.
There's an easy answer for this, and that is just to put date of delivery TBD.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I would actually be halfway okay with that. But this again, Daniel's saying he's okay with them openly lying to us.
Okay, to end this segment, I'm going to have the last say to respond to what you said. I don't believe they are openly lying. They are hopeful that this is there when they're going to arrive. And I do trust that they believe that. But there are so many things that happen that a lot of the companies can't hold to this time frame. Some of them do, though. I was speaking broadly, but some of them do actually reach their
Everything
goals.
I've seen always just says estimated arrival.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Well, regardless, what do you guys think about Kickstarter or crowdfunding? Why do you back games, and why? How many have you backed? I'm just kind of curious. Are you one of these people who have like said no to crowdfunding? Do you love crowdfunding? And what are your rationales? But let us know in the comments below.
We'll return after these messages.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Games on tap. But wait, I'm hearing something from our correspondent in the field. Oh yes, once again it is the impeccable Hansa Teutonica. Hansa, what have you got for us?
Oh, hello there, Andy. Thank you so much for having me back on the show. I feel like I only get to be on like once every 6 months, so it's been great that there's been a lot of great comments recently. All right, well, I have one, and this is from the Hall of Fame worthy cutaway. This one says, "Dear Around the Board, gotta love a guy calling his community uncultured while he sits in his mother's basement surrounded by action figures. Thanks to the rest of you for having at least a somewhat intelligent conversation."
I like it.
I think that was an insult to all of us, actually. It was obviously a throw out to Chris, but then he said somewhat intelligent conversation for the rest of us.
A very backhanded comment.
I didn't catch that the first time. You're right. I was the one that actually said the uncultured part. So Chris just kind of agreed with it and laughed. So I don't know. I don't know. That's like
All
maybe
I was going to say is if you call me somewhat intelligent, I do consider that a compliment. So
there you go. That's true.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to defend Chris, guys. that is indeed not his parents' basement. He is a family man, but he does have toys. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's undefensible.
Or indefensible, even.
I've heard it both ways.
Round 3. Fight!
Board game, believe it or not.
Round 3 comes to me with the world famous and award-winning Believe It or Not segment. So strap in and get ready. I'm going to come out with a few games here, game descriptions. I'll say the year and a little brief description of the game. And everybody's going to say whether they believe it or not. Did this game really come out? Did this game not come out? And if I fool 2 of these yokers, I get a point. If they get it right, they get a point.
Usually them too.
So
Did you
is that usually what it is?
Did you say jokers or yokers?
I said yokers.
Okay.
It was my my Norwegian coming out.
But
But I don't have as
jokers,
many this time. I think I only have 7. I'm not as organized as I usually am with these things. They get strewn around. Some of these have been on here a while. So we usually start with Chris, but this time we'll go to the man in the green corner. The voice, the hair, Andy Barnett. What do you got between 1 and 7, buddy?
Let's go with number 2. Number 2, please.
Number 2. Number 2
like
has been
how long it takes Andy to think of a number.
What? I wanted to really think about it. So
I know you do.
Number 2 was supposed to come out during one of our Halloween segments. Anyway, it's from 1979, and it's called I Want to Bite Your Finger. Morning, noon, or night, anytime the count may strike. If you're caught, you have to linger, because Dracula may bite your finger. It's a racing game where you're required to roll a die. If you're unlucky, your roll will awaken the vampire. If this happens, put your finger inside his mouth and hope he doesn't bite. Andy, what do you think? Did this come out in 1979?
absolutely
to bite your finger.
It absolutely came out because the sequel, I Want to Pull Your Finger, is also one of my favorites. So
let me scratch that off the list.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's a real game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andy's a believe it, Daniel. What do you say, buddy?
Man, John, if this isn't real, I mean, it sounds like Crocodile Dentist. So there is a game like that out there. So I would believe that this is like a retheming, or this one came first. They were like, 5-year-olds aren't biting my Dracula game. Oh, maybe we should turn it into Crocodile Dentist. But John, this is another one. If you made this one up, then bravo. That rhyme at the beginning was hilarious. You can put your kids to bed with that at night. I'm going to believe it. It's
so your belief. So that's 2 believes, all the way down to Chris. I've already got a point or not. So we'll see what happens to Chris.
So since it doesn't matter anyway, I don't think this is real, but I want it to be. So I'm gonna speak it into existence. I'm gonna believe it into existence or whatever, and say yes.
So we got 3 believes.
That's right.
That's right.
Believe it or not, I Want to Bite Your Finger did come out in 1979. Hey! Good job, you guys.
Woo!
I want to bite your finger. It's a Dracula game. Just set the clock. Just try your luck.
If Dracula's cape opens, you have to put your finger in his mouth and press the lever. If he leaves a mark on your finger, you have to start over again.
He didn't bite me!
If you can sneak all the way around Dracula's house, you'll win the game.
You're not supposed to bite people.
It's a Dracula game.
I want to bite your finger from Hasbro.
Very good. Cool thing about it, it had red markers inside his mouth, and if he bit you, it left 2 red dots on your finger.
Man, these games you're finding from the 70s, John.
Aren't they awesome?
Wild.
They're incredible.
And why did we get stuck playing Monopoly our entire life? When
exactly,
games like
when you can play I Want to Bite Your Finger.
Hey, haven't you had enough flack over Monopoly? Quit throwing shade at them.
I'll fight that. Let's go.
That brings us to young Daniel. Daniel, what do you say between 1 and 6?
I'm going to say number 4.
Number 4. Okay, here we go. Number 4. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Callahan, Private Eye, currently on Kickstarter. So Andy never looks at Kickstarter, so he won't know if this is true or not.
But you said this could have been an old one, too. So currently, when you look this up.
That's also true.
No, that was just that first one, but it's been on there a while.
Oh, okay.
But then again, who knows? Rip Callahan was the most successful and renowned private investigator in all of Hollywood. However, his intrepid dedication often led him to places and people that were dangerous to uncover. One of his snooping sessions likely got him killed. In this app-driven competitive investigation game, Rip is trying to communicate from the grave. Rip, like R.I.P., Rip Callahan. He's trying to communicate from the grave to bring his killers to justice. And interact with famous Hollywood locations and stars of stage and screen. With your deductive powers and some help from beyond, be the first to crack the case. What do we think, Daniel? Is Rip Callahan, Private Eye, really on Kickstarter or not? Or was it on
Is this an IP?
No.
Intellectual property? Rip
I don't
Callahan?
think so. Because it's R.I.P. Callahan.
It may or may not be. I don't think that's part of the pitch.
Exactly. I don't answer questions about the games. I give you the description.
Okay. Well, because I recently watched a video where I swear they were talking about like a 1970s Rip Callahan game and that they wanted an expansion for it. I swear that's what it was, but it's probably not. I'm gonna say false, and I'm gonna say that I just made this entire story up, just like John did.
I think you're thinking of Rip Van Winkle.
Maybe.
I'll have to look it up, but I 100%. Actually, I'll tell you what it was. It was in the Dice Towers videos. They do the game of the week that we've done before. Their favorite game or the game they want an expansion to. I'm telling you, there was something like that in there, but I'll look it up later. Actually, go ahead. Just keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
Nevertheless, you're a not believe, correct?
I'm not believe.
He's not believing it. Chris, what do you say? Rip Callahan, is that a believe or a not believe?
Man, this is going to be another one just like last time. Like, I want this to be a thing so bad, I'm going to speak it into existence. I'm going to believe it into existence, because I love the idea of this, like, app-driven, like, mystery game. And, like, first of all, just the name, like, Rip Callahan, and then the R.I.P. thing, that's fantastic. But it immediately felt like pulp noir to me when you said the name. So, yeah, I'm believing this one to existence.
Ooh, we got to believe and a not believe, and it's all up to Andy. What do you say there, Andrew?
I can only think of. I was just trying to think of other Rips, and I think the guy on Yellowstone, his name's Rip. So that was the only Rip I could come up with.
He'll take you to the train station, that's for sure.
That's right. Yes, he will. I'm gonna go with no. This is not real.
You're a not believe?
I do not believe.
Well, believe it or not, Rip Callahan was made up by me. So Chris is the only one that I fooled.
Dang it! I wanted to play that game.
It was when I was leaving a store, and this is a bad way to explain this, but when I was leaving a store and then they put up like a thing when somebody had passed away and there was a memorial service coming up and real big, it said R.I.P. And I was like, R.I.P. Rip. Rip Callahan would be a cool name. What would that go with?
I love how Daniel asked if it was an IP or not, and you're just like,
I know.
Yeah,
no, it's an R.I.P.
You should have just said no quickly. No, okay, I found out what it was. It was Ben Casey, MD, the game.
Oh yeah, Ben Casey.
Oh yeah, that sounds just like Rip Callahan.
Yeah, exactly like Rip Callahan.
I was way off.
It just felt the same to me is all.
Who are we up to? Chris, what you got? 1 through 5, buddy.
1 through 5. I'll take 5.
Take 5, why don't you?
Not a sponsor, but please be. I love your candy.
Take 5 is going to be Luggage Packer from 2019. How about that for a name? Luggage Packer.
It's a name.
Pack your bags and head for the airport in Luggage Packer. Your player board is a suitcase with 2 compartments. On your turn, you select an item out of the dresser and try to cram it into your carry-on. Lose points if you fail to leave enough room for essentials, socks, and underwear. Gain points if you sneak contraband past the security check. Tile lane with a little press your luck. Chris, what do you think about Luggage Packer?
Okay, so I don't think this is real. And if it is, I think the designer needs to reach out to me and I can help him with like a retheme, because it feels like he's like trying to like smuggle stuff. So like, why don't you just make it about smuggling drugs? Because like, it's just bizarre that it's like this in between, right? So I'm gonna say it's not real, but I like the idea. It just needs a little tweaking, a little workshop.
Gotcha. Chris is a not believe. Andy, what do you say?
What year did you say this came out? Was this
2019?
Okay, so it was after 9/11. So this is false. Because people, since 9/11, people just don't mess with TSA, man. Don't mess with TSA.
That's a good point.
Man, that was a quick no believe. So
I like
then
the
it's
idea
all
of smuggling this game through TSA.
do that.
You know what's funny? I have gotten flagged for cards in a carry-on before.
Really?
Because they were like, cards show up weird. I don't know if
Did they
it was
tell you what they
really?
were worried it to be? Or
I don't know.
You mean
like
greeting?
because they were sharp or edgy, or I don't know
greeting
what
cards
it was.
or a deck of cards?
No, like a deck of cards.
Oh, okay.
not greeting cards. We don't let you
Can't go
Hallmark
anywhere
people.
without my stack of greeting cards. You never know when you're going to need one.
Hallmark's on the no-fly list.
I got patted down from my copy of Secret Hitler once.
Oh,
just
That makes sense.
kid.
that'd do it.
All right, I'm gonna say that this luggage package is. I'm gonna say it's true. It sounds like a game that would come out. You have a game like this, Junk Drawer, like you're trying to polyomino tile things into place. I think it's just a precursor to Junk Drawer.
Precursor to Junk Drawer, says Daniel.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, luggage packer is not real. That was actually my inspiration was Junk Drawer, and Daniel knew it, but he still said it was true. But I think he was just trying to break up the
game that I knew what you were. No, I thought, I don't know.
Wow, he was in my head, and he still...
Well, polyomino games have been all the rage lately, and they all feel exactly the same. So I literally thought they were like, yeah, we'll just do it with luggage this time.
Why not?
It seemed legit to me.
Yeah, why not? All right, we got time for one more, I think. Is everybody done one and we're back up to Andy?
We're up. Yeah, we're back to me.
All right, Andy. Give me a number between 1 and 4.
Okay, well, let's do 3.
3. All right. Here we go. Here's an oldie but a goodie. Dear Abby from 1992. How many people are familiar with Dear Abby?
I am.
I wrote her all the time.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure everybody knows what it is. A party game.
None of our audience will be, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Exactly. No one's watching. It's just us.
All the views are us. We've talked about this.
Dear Abby from 1992. A party game that puts you in the shoes of the nation's foremost source of advice. In Dear Abby, 2 people or 2 teams take turns reading actual letters to Abby. So they have the actual letters that have written to Dear Abby. They then must choose which of the 4 provided responses is the actual advice given by Abby. So that's pretty much the game. You get a card. It's Dear Abby, I'm really depressed. I'm thinking of overdosing. What should I do? What did Abby say? Did she say call a doctor? Did she say, hey, the more the better, more the merrier? I don't know. What else would she say?
Smoke them if you got them.
But I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyway, Andy, Dear Abby, did that come out in 1992 or not?
Good gravy. That did come out. It sounds like the opposite of Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity. Like you just want to get the right answer and it's not funny and nobody's having fun. And that's what games were like back then. So yes, this is a real game.
Oh, Andy's a believe. Daniel, what do you say, buddy?
Yeah, so after I played my game of Bite My Finger, we then played Dear Abby. I mean, it just makes sense that we would go from that to that. So yeah, totally is real. Totally real.
Totally real, says Daniel. Then we go down to Chris. What do you think, buddy?
So man, this one's tough because the standard answer we always say is like they made games about everything back in the day, and like the more ridiculous it sounds, the more plausible it actually was. However, I think it was like I'm gonna say it's not real for like a weird legal technicality, like the idea that that's actually including like actual letters from people. Like I feel like that would have been too much of a problem trying to get okays and sign-offs from all these people. But I don't know. So, but again, it sounds like, and actually, what you're saying, it sounded awful. But what you're saying, Andy, the idea it's like a reverse of like Apples to Apples. Like where you're, instead of picking the one that's ridiculous, but no, if this game's real, we need to get it, and we need to play it like Apple to Apples, where it's like, yeah, jump, idiot. Exactly. Like, that's what we need to play. So I'm going to say it's not real, but hopefully it is, because I think we could have a lot of fun with it.
That is the successful game, Chris. That's right. How you make Dear Abby successful.
I like your logic, Chris, but at the same time, these letters were published in public newspapers. So
okay, I guess
they'd already said, they were all okay with that. But anyway, go ahead. John, what is it?
But then now you're making, I guess you're making money on it before with the paper, so I don't know.
True, yeah.
Well, hey, but they got the invaluable advice, Chris. They got their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, nevertheless, believe it or not, Dear Abby did come out in 1992. So I got hosed in this segment. My gosh.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
0
I had a bad feeling because I had previewed a lot of these with my wife and she guessed every one of them right on. So I think I was showing my tendencies a little too much with some of these ones today, but good job, guys.
I'm bad at 1,000 this segment.
I'd say there was some big winners this time, and it wasn't me. But I could not imagine playing this Dear Abby game. That sounds so bad. It's like, how long must the letters be, and then how long must the responses be?
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, what's the 5th response? I don't know.
I do want to play I do want to play Chris's version. Dear Abby.
I want to make a joke about this, but I don't remember what the reference is. What are Dear John letters?
Dear John is when you're breaking up with someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we should make a Dear John game then.
There you go.
Away at war, and I found someone else. So yeah exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of a Dear John letter would you write out there? And what did you think of these games? Did you guess? Did I fool anybody? I mean, I barely fooled these guys. So let us know what you thought. Did you get these right out of the box, or were they a struggle for you to figure out which ones were real, which ones were fake? But in any case, whatever you do, please like and subscribe as well. What do we got next?
Round 4, fight!
All right, guys. In this segment, you will all witness one of my 2 talents I possess. And when I say I possess, I mean it's because it's the only one of the creepiest things you'll ever witness. You know how iguanas can make one of his eyes look left while the other looks right? Well, you guessed it. I can do that as well. It's a matter of dislocating your eye's vitreous body from the optic nerve.
Hey, Chris, wait, hold on. We're getting a message from the producer, Randy.
Greetings. I have a random task. I need to know what the best Kickstarter is on your shelf. I have money burning a hole in my pocket.
Random task. Show them what you do.
It's a random task!
Andy, did you even get up?
What?
Did you even get up?
No, not really.
Go on without me.
All right. We lost Daniel.
Keep going.
Oh, gosh.
There he is.
All right.
All right, who's going first?
I'll jump in. It just so happens I didn't have to go very far because I was already talking about this game earlier because the whole thing on sub-segment has been about Kickstarter, and so I got my copy of Palaces of Carrara.
Okay.
And so just a great game by Michael Kiesling, Wolfgang Kramer and Kiesling, and Frank Volkwinkel? Probably I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Anyway, this is the deluxe edition of Palaces of Carrara, and it's awesome. It's one of the best ones I've backed. I could have picked some others, like the Castles of Burgundy one, but we've been giving that so much love, I wanted to give this one some love, so this is mine.
Very good.
What do you got, Daniel?
All right, well, I could have went with a lot, and if I was trying to actually get Randy's vote and get it in the bag, I would have picked Frosthaven or Gloomhaven. But per our conversation in the past about why we want to back something and what makes us want to back it, I want to back something that has value, and by far this is the game that I have the most value with.
God,
I mean, it is Marvel United. It's piles of it, and this game is wonderful.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Fastly becoming one of my favorite games. You can play it with your family.
You can house
play
it
it with
your
your
family.
friends. You can play it with by yourself. It can house your family. The box, the art, it grew on me. I didn't like the chibi stuff at first, but hey, you can just keep getting it. There's endless material here to play. That's the whole reason you back things on Kickstarter. Because you
How
just
is that
want-
not falling over?
Well, my son tried to knock it over earlier, but yeah. So that's mine. It's a cooperative game that plays in 20 minutes. It's puzzly. You get to do a lot of fun figuring out how to beat the villain. And yeah, anyways, this is definitely the best Kickstarter I ever backed, and I still have more coming. I didn't back the DC one, but I do have the Marvel Multiverse still on its way.
Wow.
20 minutes to play, 40 minutes to figure out which one you're using, where it's at in the box, and put it on the table.
I don't know if the word...
Actually, they all fit in 2 boxes. This one and this one right here. All my miniatures.
You're gonna throw away the other boxes.
Well, actually, maybe one day, but not yet because I love them.
I love them. They're precious to me. I don't know if the word impressive is accurate or disturbing.
It can be both.
Say it both ways.
Okay.
I've heard it both ways.
John, what do you got, man?
Well, I had a couple of different things I was thinking of. I had Empire's End that I went all in on, and that's been a pretty good game, and people have liked it. And then I thought about, I only did the expansions for Canvas. I bought the original Canvas. I did like Chris. I was like, well, it's a good game. I need the deluxe, so I went online, found people selling the deluxe, and I bought the deluxe. I didn't crowdfund it, but so that's why I didn't want to go with that, since I didn't get the original that way. So I went with what I got from last year's Gen Con, where you could sign up for the crowdfunding of Fit to Print, and so that's what I did. I got Fit to Print. And the reason why I wanted to pick this, it's different than a lot of games that I have. The part that is similar to other games that I have is it's very immersive and very thematic, and it's a newspaper, old-timey theme. And so that's what drew me in. What didn't necessarily draw me in was the real-time element, which is an option in the game, but I found I like the real-time element. So there you go. It's a really cool game where you're grabbing ads and articles and things to put in your newspaper, and you have to put them on your desk. And then you have to decide when you're going to stop grabbing them, because you can't take any more once you start printing your paper. You say, I'm going to print my paper now. And so then you start printing your paper, start lining them out and trying to fit them in the way they're going to score you the most points. And everybody else is doing this on their own timetable, but you have to do it before the sandglass runs out, or else you can't touch anything. And if it's in there illegally, it doesn't score. So pretty cool game where you got to really budget your time. I guess that's why I like it. Is it's like you're playing against yourself when you do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how well can I do this? And so I guess that's why I like the real-time element of this, as opposed to other games where you're like co-op or doing something like that. So
are there letters to Dear Abby?
That's my pick. What's
that? Letters to Dear Abby in there that you can print?
There are, yes.
Really?
You have to pick the right responses or else you lose.
Okay. All right.
John,
so you're saying this is an expansion for Dear Abby?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Reimagine.
John, if I recall, that's the designer of Tiny Towns, and that was on my Gen Con list last year, and we haven't yet played it. And I do want to play it because I really enjoy Tiny Towns, and that one looks fun. So
yeah, I've been forgetting about it lately. I played it a lot when I first got it. Well, I'll have to break it out again. We'll get that played. It plays up to 6 too, and it's pretty cool.
Just like Tiny Towns.
There you go. Maybe that's why.
Chris, take us home.
All right, guys. Well, mine was real easy because it's the only game that I've backed that's
Wait a minute,
actually
Chris.
showed up.
Who are you looking at right now? I can't tell because your eyes are doing that weird thing. Oh, never mind. Okay, they're redder now.
Nice iguana.
So again, I had to go with this one because it's the only one that I've backed that actually showed up. So that is My Father's Work, and I do really like this game. Like it still has the problem that, again, I worried about because, again, the game had not come out, had not had reviews, had not people play it. So again, you're always taking a risk, and like everything about this game is fantastic. We've played it. I think John, you played it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
We reviewed it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I know, but I know that the two of you had played it. I couldn't remember if John was there that one time we played it. So I love this game. I love the idea. It's a super thematic worker placement game. It's a lot of fun, but like the theme is fantastic, but there's all these story moments, and use the app, and the writing is it's just too much. Like every moment there's like a page or two of information, and it needs just to be a paragraph. I'm telling you, this game would be so popular and so big, and a 10, like an absolute 10 out of 10 for me, if all those moments were only like a paragraph long, so you could just keep the game moving. But like the game is at least an hour longer than it needs to be because of all the text that you have to read over the course of the game. But for theme alone, the component quality, it was like $100, and like I don't think I've seen a game that had better like overall production at the price point ever. My Father's Work. Still love this game, even though it's really long. It unfortunately almost pushes into the calendar game, like 18xx to mock or something. You have to be like, hey, 3 weeks from now on this day, do you want to play the game? Because the writing's just too long, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think this game would be absolute 10. Love this game still.
I actually really like that game, which is kind of surprising because I usually don't like stuff you like. Well, we're okay. Sometimes we're okay together. But the big thing with that one that I didn't like is the AI voiceover that they used. That was a little bit upsetting.
For the female,
I just found it insulting.
The male was an actor. The female was AI, likely AI.
Right.
Likely story.
Yes.
Maybe all females are AI. We've actually just been lied to all this time.
Could be.
We're all cyborgs.
If you ever got out of your mom's basement, Chris, you would know.
That's a good point.
Or your AI parents'
Get me a
basement.
grilled cheese, Mom.
The fact that all 4 of us have wives is probably absolute 100% proof that females are just AI.
Yes.
That's
Fair.
a great point.
I mean, seriously.
All right. Well, we presented 4 games, and now our producer Randy, he's going to decide who is the first winner, second winner, third winner. We're always going to start with the third winner, right? Actually, should we start with the second winner? Isn't that what they normally do? Like, here's the runner up, and then they say who the first one is, and then the third person cries because
save it for the meeting on the show.
almost
We have
had-
to plan these things, Daniel.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
there's 4 of us, so you start with 3, 2, 1, and then you find out that you were the
Yeah,
loser or the winner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's okay. Okay. Anyways, Randy, who'd you pick
Number
for
3.
third?
Third place goes to Chris.
Chris is number 3.
Oh,
I got some points.
All right.
okay.
All right. Number 2.
Second place, John.
John at number 2.
Wow. I'm really feeling good about my chances.
Oh, please take it from Daniel. Don't let him get it. Give it to me. Who's number 1?
And the winner of this random task, Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah. My investment was worth it. That's the whole reason I backed this for this moment, so that I could be on top.
I was going to say, this is you bought this victory. You paid off the judges or paid off somebody.
Hey, if I wanted to buy this victory, I would have picked Frosthaven or Gloomhaven, but I chose to go with a game that Randy actually dislikes, and he just appreciates that this is why you do Kickstarter right here. I also agree with Chris's. I would have gave Chris second, personally. John's was a garbage game. Everybody else's
Oh
games
my
were great.
word.
What about? I was going to say, what about mine? Come on.
I said yours was great,
Oh,
but
it's
yours was
Simon.
solid third. Felt very, yeah. Come on.
All right, well, what do
on.
Well, Daniel, take your time. Step up to the microphone and give us what you got.
All right. Well, I would take my time to move these, but instead, I'm just going to stare longingly into the camera. All right. I won the game. That's why I'm talking right now, guys, in case you haven't watched this before.
Congratulations, Daniel.
That's right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes of whatever I want to say. And what I want to say is talking about asking questions on Facebook. All right. We're a part of a bunch of board game groups, and there's always weird questions that go along on there. Hey, what do you think about this game? Not weird, but whatever. It's like, why don't you just ask a friend? Or, has anybody played this game? Yes, I guarantee you someone has played that game. But those aren't the questions that bother me. The one that bothers me is someone says, I found this game for $2 at Goodwill. Should I buy it? Okay, guys, if you have to ask the question for $2, then you don't want the game. I think you're just bragging that you found the game, which is fine. Just say, hey, I found this game for $2. Don't pretend like you're in this moral dilemma. Like, ooh, it's the entire Kickstarter of Marvel United for $2. Should I buy it? Should I? Can someone tell me what I should do? Come on, guys. Seriously, have some common sense here. If you have to truly ask, is this worth your money? Then it's not, because $2 is like, nowadays it's like a candy bar. Actually, candy bars are like $3 now, which is why I don't buy them anymore, and I can't believe that they're $3. But that's a different rant. This rant's about board games. If you have to ask, is it worth it? It's not. And that also goes to you, Andy. If you find a game on sale for $15 and you're like, should I get it? No, Andy, you should not get it. It's going to be a bad game, and you don't even like comic book games, so I don't know why you bought it.
What game are you referencing specifically?
I think that's it. There are some people bragging and being silly, but I think some people are like, it's only $2. This game's trash, right? But like, those pictures all the time are like, hey, it's a copy of, I don't know, Agricola. I don't like Agricola, but like, people are like, should I get this for $2? Like, maybe they're new to the community or something. They don't know. I don't know. It's probably mostly bragging, but like, I can see some people being like, it's so cheap, this is trash, right? Like that. I think there's at least a couple people that are saying that.
Maybe it's a humble brag, but you could just brag about it. If I found an entire set of Marvel United for $2, I'm showing everybody. I'm like, this is the best find ever. I win. I'm not being all like, oh, should I get it or not?
So I believe you're referencing, now that I think about it, you're referencing the fact that I bought Marvel Smash Up, right?
That's what it was. I knew there was something. I was like, if I keep talking, I'm going to get it right.
Yes.
I bought it for like 10 or 15 bucks a while back, and
and now he plays it every day.
I've never played it.
He's like, I could care less about Marvel, and I don't really like Smash Up, and it's not my kind of game. But it was $15. Good job, Andy.
I want to say, I think this is an amazing heel turn by Daniel today. Now he's ripping into the community and giving them what for.
Look at him, all high and mighty. Oh,
I'm just waiting for Chris's double hill turn. Actually, I think he did, because I think last week when we were like, we're going to have a nice episode, and I think Chris still called everybody stupid. All right. Well, that's it, guys. We'll get to the birthdays. So today, I'm going to talk about Root. Root is 6 years old. I know it says John, but I'm taking it. It was from 2018, and Root is still one of my favorite games. It's asymmetrical greatness. It's the introduction to counterinsurgency games. You can feel like you're playing a big war game, but instead it's just fluffy woodland creatures murdering each other, and it's a beautiful experience. Root,
well, since you took my game, I'll take Libertalia. Take that, Andy. Libertalia came out in 2012. Libertalia is a unique, grimy, grungy little pirate game that is really fun to play, and where everybody has the same cards. It's a matter of what round you play your cards. People have to keep track of what cards everybody's played and see when the best time is to play yours. And so yeah, 12 years old today, or this month anyway. Libertalia.
Well, since everybody has co-opted mine, I'm going to jump in ahead of Chris and take his and say happy birthday to Codenames because I can. Codenames is 9 years old already. Came out in 2015. Maybe one of the most successful party games of all time
I think you might be
in the hobby.
All right, well, since everyone's stealing everyone's, I was already going to steal Daniel's because he already stole John's or whatever.
There we go.
Because it's Zombicide. Came out in 2012, and it's 12 years old this month. And the reason I want to steal it is because I recently bought a copy of the sci-fi one, whatever it's called. Haven't played it, never planned to play it, but the deal I got on it, the amount of miniatures I got for someday playing a sci-fi horror game, oh yeah, a role play, oh yeah, what a deal.
The question is, Chris, you found a good deal. Did you post on Facebook, should I buy this?
That's a good point. I probably should have. That would have been pretty fun.
Well, once again, we've come to that part of the show where we have to say goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of the program today. As always, we sure do appreciate it if you tap and subscribe those, like those... I can't even talk.
Like those hit and subscribe buttons.
Like those subscribe buttons, would you? And be sure to join us on our Facebook group Around the Board, where we can discuss more things in depth and ask questions like Daniel likes to ask, like should he buy $2 copy of Monopoly?
Oh, that's a great...
No, you should not. No.
Feel free to email us too. Make comments on the video. Email is mail@aroundtheboard.net. We'll see you guys next time around the board.
I'm making me a Marvel fort. That's been my dream come true.
There we go. I'll bring this next time we play games, Daniel.
Build the wall.
Oh, well, that one went over.